There it is.
Oh.
Hello.
Okay, so
Hi.
we're going to do it all again.
Yeah. So we'll get back to it. It'll be great.
This is the beauty of live. So on my side, it said we're live. And then as Esthela said, we can't see it. It brought this error up and said, you've got exactly 1 minute to refresh this feed before Facebook kicks you off. So,
It happens.
ladies and
It's all
gentlemen, the beauty of doing these things live is that they are actually live. We're
Now
really
hit that
sitting-
music again.
Yeah, we're going to do all of that again. We're going to start the whole fucking shebang over. Abel, get your rave ready.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away.
Thank you for joining us,
It's a
friends.
surprise.
We're going to start over. You guys didn't know this. We had done the whole first question and everything, and we weren't even live. Here we go. Oh, it's awesome. We're actually back. Ooh, Patron shirt, Estella. Beer
No,
the
actual bottle for later.
Oh,
for
actual
later.
bottle. Right, ain't better. Hello and welcome to the Indie Beer Show. Thank you to all of you that joined us, and especially to those that were sitting there for 3 or 4 minutes while we weren't not actually live. So I had this whole nice speech, but we're just going to cut to the chase. Please pay attention to the environment that we are all in, and be kind to your fellow humans. Fucking be nice to people. Be nice to other people. It's not hard. Treat people how you want to be treated, and we will do a lot better in this world.
And do your part to help try to advance things to the point where the people who won't do things that are right by people and treat people the way they should are held accountable. That's the biggest thing. It's like, we can all be great, but if there's these loose screws and they're not even being held accountable, forget about it. So let's enact some positive change, starting with beer. I'm going to change my mood.
Change your mood with fluids. That's really cool. Tonight, we are joined by Kilowatt Brewing because of their version of Black is Beautiful. That's going to be the overall theme of the show. But, of course, we're going to catch up with everything they do. And we are first joined by the moniker Scones. Please introduce yourself, sir, and tell us what you do at Kilowatt.
I'm Scones. I'm Steve Kozyk. Everybody calls me Scones. I'm the CEO. I'm one of the co-founders of Kilowatt Brewing. I oversee the daily operations of the brewery. There's 3 locations in Kearney Mesa, Oceanside, and OB. We've been around for a little over 5 years now, and we're doing our thing.
That's really cool, and I appreciate you joining us. BC, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what you do at Kilowatt?
Hi, guys. My name is Brian Presley. So I'm the head brewer over here at Kilowatt, and basically responsible for day-to-day brewery production and managing of cellaring and just anything beer.
That is great. And the greatest thing that I think about me and you is the place I met you, which was the Great American Beer Festival right after you won an award for the beer that we are going to drink tonight on the show later at the end. But as awesome, man. Beer quality at Kilowatt has dramatically improved since you joined the company. So we really appreciate anything that helps improve beer quality. So thank you for your efforts and your work to help Kilowatt elevate Kilowatt's beer quality, man. You did really good so far. Keep up the good work, Steve.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
We have to ask one of the most important questions of all time when it comes to beer podcasts. We're going to start with BC. What is the beer that sparked your love of craft and kind of started you on your journey?
Well, let's see. I have to probably give it to Sierra Nevada Celebration. That's probably one of the first craft beers I ever had. But I think really maybe starting to appreciate beer would probably be like Stone Pale Ale, somewhere like 2006 or so. And I was working in the restaurant industry for, I don't know, about 6 or 7 years, and just kind of getting submersed in people who are really into home brewing and drinking good beer, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
That's great. And how did you get into brewing?
Usually I mean, I was home brewing for a few years before I started the brewing industry, and I actually knew somebody who worked over at AleSmith, and just out of coincidence, they needed to replace one of their brewers, and me and another guy ended up being just not really much experience, and they just needed a hand at that time. I just was lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time.
Hey, BC, who was it? Who brought you in?
Matt Aiken.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm glad I asked. What a nice little nugget.
Actually, a friend of his, Ben, that used to work at the place I worked at, they were really close together. That was kind of the...
And that's how Matt kind of got his start at AleSmith too, was he just happened to be in the right place at the right time. So it's cool to hear him kind of do that for the next person too. That's really cool. Mr. Scones, what is the beer that sparked your interest in craft and kind of got you going down your craft beer journey?
So I built this little off the grid cabin up near Lake Arrowhead a while back. I got this really inexpensive piece of land. I built this kind of fun little cabin that we did. And one of my neighbors was a home brewer, and he just made great beer. His name's Chris Calva. He was our original brewer. He made really good beer, and he really turned me on to craft beer. It was taken off. This is like 10 years ago, and we just would be drinking beers, and we were like, hey, the success rate for breweries at that time, we're looking at 95%. I mean, what kind of business can you open that is going to have that kind of success rate? And our love of craft beer was just such a, it was a no-brainer for us. So to be able to marry those two things together, that's how it started. It started up in the mountains up near Lake Arrowhead, and then we brought it to San Diego. We've been doing it ever since.
That's really cool and a great story, and like unique. Most people, start their beer journey with a beer that's just available at the grocery store. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
for sure.
Hey, real quick. I'm sitting with a peanut gallery here. I got my ladies here, Mujeres here, and one of them actually has a question. She's wondering what beers y'all are entering this year for GABF.
BC, you can take that one.
So we did 5 entries this year. We entered the chocolate macadamia nut stout, the Belgian Dubbel, which are 2 of the ones that we have medaled for in the past. And then we also decided to enter our Easy Crusher, it's like classic American Pilsner, and 2 experimental beers, which are, one of them, it's our Guava IPA, and
I like that one.
A newer beer, which is the Oside Haze. We did a little fruit edition for that, so we're going to see. We entered those in the experimental category for the IPA section, so something different.
I would want to see you put one of those beer cocktails in there that you do over at the Cove.
Gee, I wonder where I am right now. Later.
That's been something we've been doing too. With our. That's where I'm at. We're at right now in the Forbidden Cove at Kilowatt in Kearney Mesa. We have a secret tiki bar over here, and with that, BC and I and some of the other brewers, we've been working on developing cocktails, and so they're undistilled cocktails. They're basically high gravity hard seltzers, if you will, a hard seltzer base really, but it's a high gravity version, so we're brewing it at like 20%. And so then we're using concentrated mixers, and I think we're making some pretty good quality cocktails. And so far we've been doing tiki drinks, a lot of different tiki drinks. We've got usually we have 9 on tap when we're open, so it's been fun.
Okay, I'm gonna say real quick, I've had quite a few of them. They're quite delicious, guys. If you haven't tried them, I mean, they're really, really good. And you do serve some in the brewery right now? Or are you still doing that?
We do.
Okay.
We have our Blue Hawaiian on tap in all of our locations. I think it's around 11%. It's modeled after the Blue Hawaiian cocktail, and it's a pretty. I think you find it pretty similar. You have a hard time delineating it from the rum version. And then we actually have a frozen slushy machine in Oside, and we have some of our tiki cocktails in frozen slushy format as well.
Ooh,
yeah,
I gotta go try that.
That's very important. We got to try these freaking slushies, right? That's
Yeah.
Top of the list. But we can't drink any beer cocktails because we're not at the freaking speakeasy like Esthela. We're at our house, but luckily you guys have provided us some great beers, and we're going to start with your 2019 bronze award winner from GABF, where I met your brewer, and Maggie. That is OB Bubble Dubbel. And so, Brian, why don't you kind of give us the background of the beer and tell us what we're shoving in our mouth right now.
So it's kind of, I try to make it as traditional as we could. It's basically a Pilsner base with crystal malts and special Belgium. It's kind of got your standard Belgian double character. It's caramely, toasty. It's not edging like most Belgians. It's not into the roasted category, but just kind of more on that smooth side. And the ABV is up there, so we're looking at like more of an 8.4% here on this. And because of the special B, it kind of has a little bit more of that like raisiny kind of caramel character, which I like. Not all doubles are on the darker side. There is kind of a spectrum, and this one's a little bit more, I think, on the darker side.
I like it has this. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it kind of leans like malt qualities, leans kind of more in the barley wine direction. Right. But obviously the yeast esters are completely different and taken in a different direction than the barley wine. But just that the malt quality has that kind of raisiny, toffee, plum quality that I get a lot out of, especially English barley wines.
Okay.
Enjoyable to me. I don't like when your yeast esters get too really funky or bubble gum, even though that would work well with the name. So I really appreciate this beer for what it is. And again, it's really hard to win a medal at GABF. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, for sure. And one more question.
Yeah, from the peanut gallery, go.
Sorry, one more question from Mary Jane's asking if all these beers that we're gonna have tonight are available to go. Like, how do you selling them to go? Is it outdoor dining here? What are your options for somebody that does want to come and grab beers?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. We've got outdoor dining in all of our locations, but as far as to go, right now we have all of these beers in bottles in all 3 locations. We also do crawlers and growler fills too, so they're all on tap. And they're also bottled currently. They're 22-ounce bottles, and buy 2 get 1 free.
Ooh, we all like a deal.
Right now, I couldn't hear that. I have no idea what you said.
Yeah. So
a lot of people are gonna hear that, Scones.
I think this is a great time to do some housekeeping. By the way, if you guys are listening, drop us a comment so we know you're there, and let's get it going. Michael Pratt, hello. Larry Smith, hello. You were second this time. I'm sorry, dude, you weren't first this week. Maggie, always great to see you. Thank you for pinging me, Larry, along with the other people, where our show wasn't actually live. God dang it. But we are now. Herm, Mary Jane, who apparently is with Esthela, Mr. Babineau, who never misses a show, Brian Brassard, who today was like, wait, I can freaking have a beer and hang out with you guys? Yes, you can, Brian. Welcome to doing that. Brandon Yurtzes, the other Brandon on the show that is here every week. Stina, we freaking love you. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Brad.
Freaking Theo from Bountiful Bag is here. Rudy from Spaceship, Jolly Spaceship. Larry Smith, one of the most generous people in all of craft beer. Thank you for joining us, Larry. I really appreciate it. Mrs. Babineau, she's never too far behind Matt. Alex Van Horn, he was just recently out here. Brewed a beer with Savage Wood. Nice to see you, dude. Mrs. Spackman, who I think is also with Esthela.
She's here. Yep.
Hello.
Part of the peanut gallery here.
3 Punks, who joins us all the time. Shout out to you guys. You guys are great.
Hi.
South Bay Uprising in the house. Jess from Ale Tales, thank you so much for being here. And again, Mr. Larry Smith said hi. And Kim just joined and said hello. Welcome to all of you. Daniel Womack. Hello, sir. I am too much here. This is valid. Too much fun out at the Cove right now. Stuck at home. So hyped to see Scones and BC on the show tonight. Daniel, thank you for welcoming them properly. That is great. And apparently Maggie is also there with
They're here.
Esthela.
Yeah.
We don't want anyone to be left out. Dan Diego's Slainte to you, sir. We really, really like it. And yes, Brian, even more specifically, drink the beer we're drinking. That is freaking great. Please keep that shit up, people. We really, really appreciate it when our fans go out and get the beer and then get to drink it with us. That's like the coolest thing about the entire COVID-19 situation, quarantine. Yes.
We just drink the beer and find out how wrong we were about describing it.
Right?
Yeah, but
exactly.
In real time.
Yeah, I will say the space they have here is great. Very well spaced out, very open, and it allows for a lot of people to come and hang out here. So I may be here if you guys want to come hang out right now. Come on down.
You have about an hour and a half to get to.
Yeah, I'll be here. I'll be here till closing, pretty much. So yeah.
But not too many people. You still got a social distance.
Yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. They have a lot of tables, and they're all very social distanced and wear masks and all that stuff. Everybody be safe, guys.
We follow the rules, and
we do take it very seriously. We've got a beer garden outside with picnic tables. Everything's measured out and safe, and we do everything. Try to do everything the right way.
So speaking of, let's kind of break it down by location. So if we went down to OB, what would we find? What's the situation there?
So right now, we've got Armando. He's doing, which is
friend of the show.
Yes, friend of the show, Tacos El Mero Mero, and they're doing. He's got a mole that he made with the beer, with the Black is Beautiful beer that we did, our Chicory coffee milk stout. So he's serving that up right now as we speak in OB. It's all outside. We got our patio. We're on the sidewalk. We got our parklet in the street. So we got a lot of tables there. I think we've got something like 17 tables. So there's plenty of space and plenty of room. And then in Oceanside right now, we've got our O-Dogs, which is our hot dogs and sausages. We have locally made sausages by Tip Top Meats in North County. They've been around for a long time. They make sausages with our beer in the sausage. So we're pretty stoked on that.
That's legit. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we got our first one now, and we're gonna start each sausage we do will have one of our beers in it, and then we'll be pairing it with our beer. So it's fun, psychedelic like all three spots, but we're a little bit more space constrained there because with the sidewalk and being outside, not as much space. We still have about 8 tables, so we're good. And then Kearney Mesa, where we're at now. Our landlord was pretty awesome and would let us put a pretty nice sized beer garden in the grass area by the brewery, and we got picnic tables and umbrellas, and it's it's fun. It's all grass and it's actually I don't know, it's a whole new vibe to our space. And then hopefully we can get the Cove here open again soon too. But in the meantime, we got the beer garden, and we have food in all 3 locations. So anytime you come, it's dine in and beer. So
that's really cool. And I'm glad that there is a way to enjoy each location. I know the restrictions have gotten worse, been relaxed, gotten worse. Sounds like they're about to relax again. Please, for the love of God, San Diego, keep your fucking shit together.
Yeah.
Let's not repeat 4th of July. 4th of July sent us in a tumble the other way.
Yeah.
Don't tell LA. Don't tell Arizona that we're doing good. Let them keep
Arizona.
Let them keep doing it over there. Yeah.
Freaking Arizona.
Even next
There's
week,
good people over there.
Absolutely, but even next week when they start relaxing some of these restrictions, one of the first ones going to hopefully for breweries will be that they will take away the food purchase requirement. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
When this happens, please keep wearing your mask in public. Please
stop.
Don't just go back to partying with your friends. Keep your bubble. Follow the NBA. Keep your bubble tight. The NBA's done really good.
But if you do need a mask, we do have the Indie Beer Show masks, which you can purchase, which our model Abel is showing you guys right now.
We make no money off them, so just buy them.
No, yeah.
You know what kind of jerk is making money off of a mask right now? Anyways, we're
speaking of the NBA and the NFL and the Major League Baseball and the NHL and all this. Yes, man.
Yes,
only $25 for 3.
Yes, right. So
and you'll get it next year.
Yeah, if somehow you do want a mask, I think we're down to 12. Or maybe 13, maybe a dirty dozen. But if you really want one,
they're really great. They're form-fitting. They look cool. Everyone always says, "I really like your mask when I wear it." Like legitimately, whether they know the show or not, it's really cool.
I think they fit nice, guys. Like I really like how it fits, and it's not like But
to be specific, Alex asked where would you get a mask, and you would go to indie.beer/shop. It's a 4th item on the right. The Tibbs mask. They're $10. That includes shipping. Mr. Smith, if you want another mask, I will fucking give you one. You're like the best, one of our best supporters.
Meet you at Save and Mail on the weekend, and we got this.
By the way, if you're not friends with Larry Smith in Facebook, become his friend now. He is out at all the breweries all the time. He's
Larry. I'm sorry I missed you here. I thought you were going to be
craft
here.
beer fan, and so it's really cool. And then for those of you listening that may be here because you heard Cosmo's going to join us. He's going to join us for the actual Black is Beautiful beer segment, which is going to start in about 7 or 8 minutes. So you've got a little time. But before that, let's specifically talk with Steve about your Oceanside location. You opened that location not too far before COVID. And so how has it been? How has the community received your new location so far?
Well, you're right about that. And it's been, it's been tough with the shutdown. Like I said, with being outside, not having that many spaces. But the benefit, though, is that we have a kitchen there. We actually have our own kitchen there, and we serve our own food. So when there was periods of time when we were kind of freaking out about Kearney Mesa and OB about the food situation, we already had that built in there. So it's been great. We've developed a following there, and I think the neighborhood's great. I mean, the reason why we went to Oceanside is because it's a great neighborhood. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, we love OB, and OB is we're known for our spot in OB, and I think that Oceanside's a blue collar beach town, and that's kind of how we are. That's the kind of people we are, and I think we're a natural fit there. So I think we've been well received, and I think we've got potential there too, because we got a whole nother little back room there, secret back room that we were getting ready to do speakeasy style there too. We've already started building it out. It's weird and trippy and kind of fits our vibe, but we'll get to that when we reopen. And the thing is, again, like we have to put things in perspective. If you look at our fellow brewers in Northern California, I mean, they can't catch a break with the fires right now. It's like not healthy to breathe air outside, and it's not healthy to breathe air inside. So I feel really fortunate that we're able to at least be able to do what we're doing. And we're surviving. We're at the moment we're surviving. We'll see what happens when the summer ends. But for now, I think we're getting by, and we've got great support, whether it's in Oceanside, OB, and Kearney Mesa. So can't say enough to everyone out there that supported us through the to-go phase, and then all the different ups and downs we've had. We've had just amazing support, and wouldn't be here talking with everyone right now if it wasn't for that. So thank you to everyone for that.
That's really cool. And speaking of speakeasies, this is kind of a new direction for Kilowatt, and it really fits your decorating and art vibe. But you kind of mentioned some of the beer cocktails you guys have been making, but when things are normal, what can we expect from Forbidden Cove, which is the one in Kearney Mesa, and the future possible speakeasy in Oceanside?
Well, I would love to at some point, if we have time, I'd love to give you guys a little walkthrough, because we got it all fired up right now. We got a thunderstorm show.
Yes, the thunderstorm. Awesome.
I might do that. I think I can control it from my phone, so we might turn the show on at some random point of stone. So we might be in a lightning storm at some point. So we'll get to that. But yeah, we have infinity mirror rooms. I don't know if you've seen our infinity mirror rooms, but we've got one in each location, and we have that when you walk in the cove here. In the entranceway, you walk in. There's a mirror on a wall and a one-way mirror. So when you walk in, you see like 40 copies of yourself in every direction, but you can't see out into the lounge area, but the people in the lounge can see you through the one-way mirror. And then they see like 40 copies of you too. So it's pretty trippy and fun and interesting. And so that's just, it keeps us going. You know, obviously if you don't make great beer, you've got nothing. That's the bottom line. And BC is making great stuff, and we're having a really fun time coming up with new things and trying to push the envelope on things. I love BC. He's a great guy and he makes great beer. We're really doing some fun stuff together, and it's great. But on creating environments, that's another thing too. I mean, it's just that's what gets me going. You know, besides craft beer is to build these things and use our imagination and be able to do this. I mean, you can build this in your house for fun or whatever in your backyard, but being able to do this in a way that you can have the public enjoy and all your friends and family enjoy too, and have the resources to be able to do it is great. I mean, it's really fun. So it's a big part of who we are at Kilowatt.
That is awesome, man. And I agree. I think one of the things that stands out for you guys is your uniqueness, and that's actually what the theme of our top 3 is this week. We decided to go with our top 3 uniquely decorated tasting room spaces in honor of yours. Yours are incredibly unique, and they like if you had a picture of every tasting room in San Diego, you could be like Kilowatt, Kilowatt, Kilowatt. I mean, you have a base. You have a brand that's recognizable from your wackiness, really. I mean, to put it simply, and we'll get into a little more of that later in the show. But let's start with Esthela. Let's go with your number 3 tasting room space.
So number 3, I went with fall because I really love fall. Sorry, Abel, probably took your answer there.
Oh no, it's okay. I'll let you have it.
from when you start in the punk rock patio now, like in the inside where, you know, they used to have really cool art shows, and it's just, the space is great in there. And I love to go in there, especially the bathrooms. I'm always like staring at way too many things. Forget to do my business in there because I'm staring at walls. But yeah, I'm going to go with fall brewing for my number 3.
That's a great answer. And you know, they like you said, the artwork that they support and the music they support, really gives a little weight to all that stuff. All right, Neon Garcia, what about you? What's your number 3, sir?
Well, you know, I could have gone with fall, but I guess, you know, I could go with 3 Punk to take it away from Esthela. But
there you go.
I won't do that. My number 3 would be Amplified Aleworks, the one in PB. They have the wall, their bar is made out of tapes, and they have the records and all that kind of stuff. It gives you that, again, that music ambiance, especially when they're called amplified, and it just kind of like their tap handles have like, you know, little microphones on it, or all different types of things. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. And then they have shows there, and they have local bands that play there. So it's been really awesome seeing that too, which we can't do, but I miss it.
Yes, right. I hear that shit. We live entertainment in general, this year has really fucked up.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's mainly my business, and now I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to do. I'll just do this. Just sit here.
Cause is here. Hello, sir. We'll get to you. We'll get to you momentarily, sir. Thank you for joining us, man. It's really awesome to see your fucking face. But Mr. Hernandez, your number 3 tasting room.
If I was going lo-fi, I would say Border X, because I really like what they've done there. I think that place is really great, and it speaks to something. But I'm going to go hi-fi, and I'm going to say Stone. And I'm going to say Stone because not only do they have an aesthetic that blew everything away at the time that it was established, but there was no template when they came out and did the bistro and things like that. And when they did a satellite tasting room, which nobody had at the time. And they've managed to keep a nice, steady, consistent aesthetic going for a long time. And they did it when they didn't have a lot of money. They do it when they did have a lot of money. I just really appreciate what they were able to establish and continue to perpetuate, even going across the country. So I think there's a lot to be said when you're bringing something that hasn't existed before and is very unique at the time. I mean, all of that using materials that were kind of like second hand basically, and that wasn't a thing yet. So kudos to them for doing that, and kind of providing that example that didn't exist at the time.
Well, thanks for blowing my bracket, Brandon. Appreciate that shit. We'll cut to the chase. To me, Stone World Bistro and Gardens is number one, and just that, especially the gardens part of what you just described. It's just freaking amazing, and that's like the fourth most visited tourism spot in San Diego County, and it's like behind the zoo and SeaWorld. Like, it's crazy how many people actually visit Stone in a normal year. Obviously, this year visitations to anywhere, even just the beach, are incredibly reduced. But for me, my number 3 is North Park Beer Co. This place is fucking gorgeous, and if you are a avid Disneyland person, which I also happen to be, you will recognize that a lot of that same type of quality of theming is prevalent in Disneyland as well. It's complete. So you're wrapped in a 1920s-ish craftsman era blanket when you're inside North Park, and I just really respect the effort it takes to have a design that is that complete throughout the whole project. That space is huge, and it's really good that they were able to bring it all together, be that beautiful, and if you could go inside, have air conditioning, because that, you have to give Kelsey props. That must cost him $1,000 a day to cool. So, I mean, that space is ridiculously huge. So, shout out to North Park. We love you. But we are here today because of an effort started by Weathered Souls called Black is Beautiful. And the reason that this effort was started, and Esthela's beer is labeled, so let's zoom in on Esthela here for a second, so everyone can see the bottle. Our bottle, we happen to get pre-release bottles.
Rich Cosmos sticker.
You know, we're all about that shit. So we got lucky, and we got blank bottles. But the point of this beer is to use craft beer as a vehicle for assisting social issues, which it always has been. Craft beer has always been about helping its community. And this is another example of why craft beer is fucking amazing. This effort started by Weathered Souls in Texas. We had Marcus on a few weeks ago to discuss that. There's now over 1,130 breweries participating in this. And what is unique about this particular effort is, instead of there being some giant fund that it's all benefiting, your instructions is you are to benefit a local nonprofit that is helping your community. And I think that is very special and really has potential to actually do a lot more change, because people are being able to choose the charity that is local to them and has some heart in it. So first off, let's start with Brian and Koz, and why don't you guys kind of tell us how this beer came about and where you came up with Chicory Coffee Milk Stout as your tweak on the recipe?
So that's all BC.
So I think I believe there was a beer that Brandon brewed with Kilowatt at one point. Okay,
beer to the rescue based recipe.
Yeah, that's right. So it was kind of something we've done before, but we wanted to kind of incorporate that recipe into the Black is Beautiful beer. And so with that in mind, definitely wanted to use the Café du Monde chicory, which was kind of the backbone that Brandon's got in there. This is basically the backbone of that beer, and having done a milk stout, which I've actually never brewed, so it was like something different as well. And we just tried to maybe tweak the recipe a little bit to suit kind of what we were looking for, and something that was going to go well with the coffee and not be overpowering or overly sweet with the lactose.
That is a great story. I do remember the beer that this came from with Brandon in the past, and I really thought the chicory shined on that beer, and it's coming through on this one great as well. By the way, we have to take a moment and pause. Larry freaking Smith just bought 4 masks and a goddamn T-shirt. So, like I said, Larry Smith is a very generous San Diego craft beer fan. if you're a brewery, you need to court this man. I'm telling you, it's worth your time.
Absolutely.
But, thank you very much. So back to the beer. Fucking phenomenal. First off, really,
Judith just walked in, guys. Sorry, Judith just walked in.
Judith in the house.
Oh, okay, we'll stop the presses.
That's really cool. But I think you really nailed kind of the imperial milk stout base, and the coffee is definitely coming through really smooth. You can really overdo it with, especially with Café du Monde. You can overdo the coffee pretty easily. It's a strong flavor profile. So that's really cool. Let's take a moment. Fucking Cosimo's on the show, dude. So we miss you. It's been a long ass time since
cheers, sir. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
One of the last times I actually hung out with you face to face was like the day before you left years ago to go to the other side of the world and brew in a foreign country forever. So why don't you kind of encapsulate in a minute where you went, why you're back, and what you've been doing so far here in San Diego again?
I was in Europe. I got to go all around Europe and brew, but I was based in Copenhagen and Denmark. Worked for Tool and helped them expand. They just opened a 250,000 square foot facility. So that was a fun project, and took my old dog and myself back to town before the holidays. Got stuck here with COVID, so hanging out, taking care of Pops, and working at Kilowatt and Original 40, kind of keep the blood flowing and keep in touch with the community, and just hanging out and enjoying San Diego.
That is super cool, and it's rad to hear that you're also working with Giggles over at Original 40.
Is it really rad?
Yes, for me
to work with Giggles.
No, that part.
I would say normally, but I'm on the spot at the moment.
That's really cool. Now, Koz, when you say you got stuck here by COVID, do you mean by the overall failure of our government to control the disease so you can't go back to Europe? Or do you mean like you had some family issues and you needed to take care of sick people here in San Diego?
I was actually in between pursuing an opportunity here in the States and one in South Korea, not in Europe, both of which got shut down by COVID. So with that mixed with the familial kind of concerns, the best option right now is to hang out in San Diego and enjoy the beautiful beer scene we have while being stuck in a not so social scene that I'm used to.
Yeah, but at least that not so social scene comes with our weather. Not this week. This week can suck it, but most weeks are pretty good.
Yes,
that's really cool. So we all saw, at least I hope you all saw, Brandon's article on the collab. He had the inside track a little bit, being involved in the collab from the beginning, but whatever. Yeah, there's a big picture of everyone that was there on Brew Day, and normally this is like 3 people. This picture was a lot bigger than that. Esthela was there. You were there. Some members of Ballast Point were there.
No, Brandon was not there. Brandon was there.
I know Brandon wasn't. I said Brian. I meant this guy. Not that guy.
Okay, but I do want to clear up something really quick because, of course, people called it out. That picture where we're all there, that was taken individually and then digitally put together. So we did totally social distance the entire time. Nice. If you watch the video that Ballast Point put up, it literally shows us all separate and then the picture together. Just so people understand that we did social distance. We were wearing masks. We're very safe the whole time. Just putting that out there, people. Just putting that out there.
We got together for the portrait, and we're all wearing masks. And I'm like, you can't even see who it is. Who knows who's behind the mask? So we measured out X's and put them on the ground, and we each stepped up one at a time and took the pictures, and then we composited them together and made one photo. So that's how we pulled it off to keep it real,
So it's Photoshop, huh?
Yeah.
The whole
how much
legitimacy
weight
of
did you
this.
take off yourself, and how much hair did you put on yourself in that photo?
Yeah, definitely.
They didn't do that to me. They could have taken off a few pounds. That wasn't done, guys.
Yeah, why aren't they helping you while they're photoshopping? That's great, right?
That's what I'm saying, right?
But Colby from Ballast Point in a follow-up post on Facebook, he posted it was the first time that he had brewed with the owners of Ballast Point in a decade, and it's really nice to see Colby being excited about Ballast Point's return to what we say as the indie beer side of the world, and so it was just really cool to see these interactions in the background as this beer was being released for pre-sale. But I thought it was really cool that what you guys did to make it look like more like a traditional collaboration photo, even though me and Esthela and Brandon and several other people in the background knew what you guys did, which is freaking cool. Use technology to trip us out a lot better than a few breweries that are right now are getting a lot of shit for throwing a bunch of anniversary parties without any social distancing. So don't do that. Don't do that. Don't break. Okay. It's really simple. Don't fucking break the rules. And if you're gonna break the rules, don't put it on fucking Instagram. Like, why is this hard for people? Like, don't post a picture with 30 of your staff members touching each other if it's real. Like, take the picture. Just put it in your pocket. Shut up.
Or you can just not be friends with Brian and he won't say anything about it.
Yes. It's all of that. I am horrible about telling people what they should do. So if anyone listening needs an opinion, I'm full of them. Don't hesitate to ask. But guys,
just warning you, Giggles is here now. Giggles is here.
Damn it. We said his name 3 times and he showed up.
So, Cause, before we let you go, are you just like kind of assistant brewing at Kilowatt and OG40? Like what would you consider the work you're doing is?
Oh, I'm straight cellar ratting.
Yes,
I'm cleaning kegs. I'm CIPing tanks. I'm, all these beautiful adjuncts these guys are putting into these beers and making them so beautiful. I'm the guy taking them out of the brinks and the bright tank and CIPing it afterwards, and it's awesome. I get to be that side of the process, like to see how these guys do it, and I get to contribute, but I also don't have any pressure. I get to clock in, clock out, have a few beers. It's amazing, and definitely learning a lot from these guys.
Aww.
It is really cool to hear when you can tell someone loves their craft, they don't mind like stepping into a role like you have. You've been at every level of brewing there is. You've been, at small brew house where you got to control most of the stuff. You've been at huge production facilities where you were delegating a lot of work, and now you're back to cellaring. That's freaking awesome, man. And it speaks a lot to your character that you see the value in. Yes, sir. I'll clean that keg. I'll dump the coffee in. You worry about the rest of it. That's right.
It's also been a great two-way street too. I mean, the transfer of knowledge in our direction has been amazing too. I mean, it's really special. It's a special time right now, and we cherish it and love the Cosmo.
Cheers, Tom.
I mean, you can't not love this fucking asshole. I miss you, dude. I haven't seen you. I don't think we've hung out face to face in 4 years. It's been a long time. So
it needs to happen soon.
It was wonderful to see you. Yes, as soon as it's safe or there's 7 feet of sunlight between us. Sometimes, dude, man, that's rad. Thank you so much for joining us, dude. I really appreciate it. It was rad.
Oh, and by the way, the beer is actually really good. I'm stoked. Congrats, BC.
It turned out really good.
We're a little concerned.
Well, don't be concerned. It's great. So one thing I didn't know because I don't have a label, maybe Esthela can help me out. What's our ABV, lady?
We're in 7 point.
All right. Okay. Hold on.
We'll look for the published number here in a second.
7.2.
Excellent. That's really cool. So this is like a a reverse ABV smuggler. Like it drinks above its weight. Like it feels to me like it's an 8 or a 9%, or like it's got that body from a higher that you would normally have in a higher ABV. That's really cool, man. I love it. Punching above.
As it warms up, the chicory starts to come out. At the beginning it's there, but as it warms up, it really starts to volatilize, and that's when you get the chicory.
I really love that it's not sweet in the least bit. It's a really great savory beer, balanced, right? A great ABV for drinking and enjoying. You can get through 22 ounces easily and enjoy it, but it's great. You guys did a really good job, DC, man, for a style you don't brew a lot.
Right on. I think for the amount of residual sweetness is actually in that beer. There is a little bit of roast that kind of counterbalances that, which I wasn't quite sure how that was going to work out. So we're stoked that it is somewhat balanced. It's not like cloying or like hard to drink.
Not at all. And it's easy. It's easy to hit either of those. It's easy to hit cloying, especially at 7%, and it's also easy to hit a weird, bitter, sour note from the coffee. For whatever reason, this coffee takes some balance to shine in a beer, and I think you really nailed it, man. It's awesome. I'm really happy, and now I don't feel so bad for how much I've drank of it, knowing it's only 7%. That's really cool. So thank you for that. You guys are benefiting an organization called Hear Us Here, and that's HEARHERE. What is this organization about? Why did they strike a chord with you, and why did you choose them to benefit from the sales of this beer?
So yeah, they're actually here with us. So I'm hoping we can get them on, and they can actually tell you a little bit about themselves too. But I when we were looking to identify an organization to partner with on the Black is Beautiful collaboration, we really wanted to partner with a local organization. We really wanted to partner with someone local and grassroots, someone who's really embedded in the Black community in San Diego. And so we looked at a number of organizations. We talked to some of our friends in the Black community, and we decided to work with Hear Us Here because their message just really resonates with us. I think they're really on point. They're doing some really great work, and they're really good people. And grassroots is really what we wanted to be involved in. And it's, again, I also want to say too that it's something that we're doing this collaboration, and a lot of other breweries are too. But this is a sustained effort. This is something that we need to continue to do. And we need to, there needs to be a Black is Beautiful 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, as many as we need to do until things change. And so, this is the beginning of another period where we need to get through and make real change this time. But it needs to be a sustained effort, and I think that Hear Us Here is set up to do that. And there's someone that we want to partner with to be able to do this long term.
And I think you said something that's really important in right now is, we're not in a situation where, we made a charity beer and it's all done and it's all better. And we we changed the world with one beer. We all know that that's unfortunately not what is happening, and that's not what's going to take. This needs to be the beginning of a sustained effort to really highlight how many people in our society, unfortunately, are treated differently and don't have the same advantages that other people have. And it's really unacceptable.
They should be getting on, Brian. Like they're trying to get on right now. So
that's really cool that we will.
They're going to jump on right now. So.
Okay, so and we're gonna have to nuke Daryl Smith. I'm sorry, buddy. We don't.
Maybe come on.
I hope so, but I'll just nuke that one, and we'll see what happens. But
stick to beer, Brian. Stick to beer. Come on.
Unfortunately, no. That is not what's going to happen ever on our show, and it's just not what's going to happen. We have. Anyway, okay. I happen to be in it. Like I said, I have an opinion on everything. I happen to be opinionated about treating people with respect and treating them with kindness. And if that bugs you, then leave me another 1-star review on iTunes. Don't care. We'll take it.
Think that's good?
So hopefully we'll get Hear Us Here in a second. It's totally fine.
they're like right over there. I'm trying to help them.
They're here, and so hello and welcome to the show. Hear us here. Jeff Eakins. So, why don't you introduce yourself, both of you, and yes, slide to the left a little bit, right on. Left and right or backwards. Well done. Thank you for joining us. Why don't you? Thank you for wearing a mask too. But why don't you introduce yourself and kind of give us a rundown of what Hear Us Here is about?
Thanks for letting us on. We're having fun here in the back. Hear Us Here is about sharing voices. Sharing a perspective. We're clearly in a time in history where authenticity is needed. It's clear, right? Like there's a lot of divides in the country, and we felt in San Diego, especially. Are you in here? Yeah. You in here? The Black story was needed. So Hear Us Here is about sharing storytelling, getting really deep, raw, uncut, unfiltered, and just genuine. Yeah.
And I appreciate your viewpoint and the intent of your organization. We need people like you that are trying to help their local community more than ever right now. Fuck, dude. How do you just go through the right now? The environment in our country is so fucking shitty. I am so proud that there are people out there like you that are keeping a positive attitude and are leaning head on into the difficult nature of what you guys are trying to do to bring positive change to our community. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I will personally be purchasing more of this beer, even though, yes, I'm drinking a free one tonight. That doesn't mean shit to me. Free beer kind of comes with podcasting, but we're about community support. So we, as a podcast, will be purchasing some of this beer. Also, just generically, we have been buying every version of Black is Beautiful that we can find to support the overall effort. We can't buy all 1,130 versions, but we're going to buy a whole lot. I think I'm personally up to about 11, and I'm hoping to cross 20. But we have another member of your group, Sean. Why don't you introduce yourself, sir, and kind of tell us what you do with the organization?
I'm Sean. I am the cinematographer and editor behind all the content that's put out there publicly, and it really came from conversations I had with friends in the Black community who really didn't have an outlet to tell their story and to speak to what was going on. So a lot of it, this whole thing was really born from just wanting to use my gifts to make an impact. And I think if more people were to realize their gifts and to figure out how it works within the context of what's going on today, I think it would have a massive impact on driving change and driving systemic change, whether it's in the beer community, in politics, in corporate America, in healthcare. Everybody has a specific gift. Mine happens to be filmmaking and storytelling, and I decided to hit up Jeff, who's my partner in this kind of project, and say, hey, this is what I can do. I've known him for years, and he knows what I do. And I called him up and said, hey, dude, I got a camera and I can tell stories. So let's get some folks together and get voices heard. And I think if more people were to assess their gifts and how they fit into driving change, I think we would live in a vastly different world.
I couldn't agree more. Well
Awesome.
said.
So also really quick for people who don't know what Here is, can you just kind of really briefly just explain how you guys are using your voice and your platform to kind of get this message out there, because I don't think people understand what you guys do quite yet, because you are a new organization. So if you could kind of tell people how you're doing that and when can they expect a new video from you guys, because that's what you guys are doing basically. So just so people understand that, because I don't think people know.
We're a platform of we're basically a platform to amplify Black voices. That's as just to boil it down to its simplest form. That's what we are. I called Jeff because he's been organizing between Texas and San Diego for close to 15 years now. And like I said, I have a camera. This is my gift. I called Jeff, and he's an organizer. He's been involved in community organizing for close to 2 decades. And really, what it boils down to is just having members of the Black community tell their stories and providing context to the events that are going on. I think a lot of the disconnect with people who are with non-Black folks, people who aren't connected with the Black community. I think a lot of the problems in understanding what's going on is a lack of context, and a lot of folks see the George Floyd moment, the Breonna Taylor moment, and most recently the Jacob Blake moment. They see them as isolated incidents, and when really the Black community as a whole has been dealing with this for 4 centuries, and they're all interconnected, and it's all connected. And so providing a platform to the Black community to give context to the pain, give context to the reactions, give context to the work that's being done. We are here we're here to amplify Black voices. That's at the end of the day, that's it.
Right. So Jeff, when can we expect some new content from you guys? Because I know that's what you guys are based on right now, just so people can see. And can you let us know where they can find you guys also, social media, website, whatever you guys have?
Yeah. Thank you, Esthela. Hear us here _org on Instagram. There's also hearushere.org. .org, excuse me. The next episode, we actually have that loaded up. We wanted to wait to do this, so we can launch. So that'll probably either come out tonight or tomorrow. And this episode will be on diversity and inclusion, as we all know, right? And this is also answering some of your previous question. Is what is our approach to change, right? We have storytelling, which is a powerful method of humanizing Black folks, because realistically, there's just folks that don't understand Blackness. One of the other pieces is political change. How are we changing things, right? Diversity and inclusion is something that is a part of everyone's life when it comes to the workspace. And so my brother right here, Chris, is going to tell a little bit. A lot of this has been really quick, deep, intense work. And do you want to talk a little bit about the episode? We interviewed him. Yeah.
Yes. Chris Williams, guys, thanks for having me. So Sean
Hi.
So Sean approached me at the beginning, shortly after George Floyd was murdered, and he asked me if I wanted to be a part of the project that they were working on. And good thing about the situation was Here was new. I hadn't seen any videos regarding them, and but I didn't really need to know too much about it because I knew a lot about Sean. I met Sean when I first moved into Barrio Logan, and I'm born and raised in San Diego. And never once have I lived in a neighborhood in my entire 31 years of existence where someone had welcomed me and made me feel included, right? And so that first day that I moved into Barrio Logan, it was Sean that it was weird for me. Maybe not for some people, maybe even on this call, but it was weird for me to have somebody approach me and be like, hey, welcome to the neighborhood. Ended up hanging out with Sean that entire day. And I'm thinking about that day, and it was so surreal to me because I'm telling you, every neighborhood that I've ever lived in, I've always felt like an outcast. So I kind of just navigate life, focused on what's in front of me. I don't really look left or right. I always have the blinders on. That's just the experience for you know, a black man in San Diego, 6% black. That's just the experience. So I already knew Sean. So when he approached me about the project, you know, I didn't really need a whole lot of information. I had seen some of his work, you know, and I knew he was talented, and I knew his heart was in the right place. So that's all it took. So when it comes to diversity and inclusion, I think a lot of people focus on the diversity piece. I like to focus on the inclusion piece. That diversity, the diversity piece says, you know, if we take a picture, you can see a lot of different colors. But the inclusion piece says, as a minority, if I walk into the room, do I feel like I belong? And, you know, Sean made me feel that way the first time I stepped into Barrio Logan. That's the important part, because it's not just about, can I have a seat at the table? It's, do I have a voice? Can you hear my voice, and do you respect my voice? And so I like to focus on the inclusion piece. With regards to Hear Us Here, Hear Us Now, you know, it's difficult to have a direct, I guess, to outline a direct goal when you're working with situations like this, because we're talking about relationships, right? And I worked in the corporate world for about 13 years. It's part of my job to work on diversity and inclusion. And one thing that I've recognized is it's difficult. You can't set a goal because you can't predict how relationships are going to pan out, because those relationships don't exist, right? Does that make sense? You can't predict, so you can't set a goal because those relationships don't exist. And when we're talking about diversity and inclusion, we're talking about relationships. So the work is kind of fluid, and it's that way for a reason. Sean said, we're here to amplify Black voices. He doesn't know what those voices are going to say. So he can't say what it's going to look like next week or the week after. And so I think his heart and his head is in exactly the right place. And I think this group's work and their heart is in the right place. And just let's start here. Let's bring as many people as we can in to tell their stories. And we'll move and we'll flex as those stories come in and as we learn more.
It is incredibly well said. Thank you.
Yeah.
We are all about allowing people to speak their voice. I mean, the entire heart of our show is to elevate other people's stories. And it is really touching to hear yours. It sucks that you had never lived anywhere that welcomed you into their community until you met Sean.
Barrio Logan. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Exactly. Give your proud smile, Esthela.
Yeah.
But you just met another community that welcomes everyone in, and that's craft beer. We are a community of people that start incredible conversations with this one stupid little saying, "What are you drinking?" That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And when we get back to when we can be in fucking breweries again, make sure that we bring back this aspect that made craft beer so successful, which is the actual fucking community behind it. Yes, we have a tremendous breweries, but the heart and soul of this industry is the community behind it that is very inclusive and wants to help their community. Craft beer has always been generous and kind, and we need that now more than fucking ever. So thank you all. You guys really expanded upon your efforts very well and very clear. And the only thing I just wanted, before we part with you, just one more time, let's let the people know where they can go, not only to support you, but to also hear these stories and help amplify those voices as well.
Yeah, you can find our work on hearushere.org, the website. You can also find us on Instagram at hearushere_org. And we do have a brand new episode focused on diversity and inclusion up on the website and the YouTube channel. If you search Hear Us Here on the YouTube channel on diversity and inclusion. So yeah, we encourage everybody to check it out, listen, take notes, visit the website, look at the resources we provided. There's a lot of reading material. There's a lot of articles, a lot of definitions of words that if you're new to this conversation, we'll put you on some shit, and you're not going to be left out in the cold. And we're here to educate people and bring people together.
Sorry, Scones, I nuked you because we were getting some echo from you. Go ahead, sir.
No, I just wanted to say, and I wanted to echo what they're saying too. I mean, go to the website, check it out, hereushere.org. But don't just go once and look at it. Please visit it regularly. They're going to be putting out content from now going forward into the future. And these conversations are very important. If you really do think, if you're someone who really thinks you really are about trying to make this a sustained change, then actually do it and go through and look at what they're doing and continue to look at what they're doing. And I also want to add too, we did this collaboration. Come buy the beer because we're giving 100% of the proceeds to Here's Here. But really, more importantly, let's again sustain effort. So with Here's Here, continue to look at what they're doing, and that's the most important thing about this collaboration above all. So I just wanted to let you put that out there too.
And I really appreciate everyone saying something that's very important. Is that this is the beginning. We're only at the beginning of bringing issues that should have been at the forefront of our mind for hundreds of years. We're finally getting this conversation onto a bigger national stage. I mean, both national conventions have been discussing this. We haven't seen a national convention leading up to a presidential election discussing racial injustices ever in my lifetime. And I'm really proud that the discussions are starting to happen in a more public manner. It sucks what it took to get here. What it took to get here is unacceptable, and it shouldn't take half of the country protesting for 6 months to start a conversation. But that's where we are, and the most important thing is that we kind of recognize where we are and that we can all do better, and that it's going to take a sustained effort, and it's not just you. Turn the fucking finger around, put the mirror up, whatever you need to do. Start with yourself. Start with internalizing what and having some fucking empathy for what other people have gone through in their life, and kind of realize that not everyone's experiences match yours. And a lot of people in the world, myself included, have this weird umbrella of advantage that we don't even recognize until we have friends that have a different life experience and can relate to us in a way that we understand. And, it's hard to manage. Like, I grew up poor in Santee. I still had some advantages because I look like me. I've been through sobriety checkpoints with things in my vehicle that I should have been caught with. Other people don't have that advantage. They don't even have to be in a sobriety checkpoint line. They could just be driving a vehicle through the wrong neighborhood and be pulled over because their skin is darker than mine. So just think about it, internalize some stuff, realize other people have had incredible struggles in the world just because they look different than me or you, and support organizations like this, especially locally. We can affect a lot more change. It's similar to how we preach supporting independent local breweries. Your money has a lot more effect with an organization like Here's Here than it does necessarily with a national organization. And I'm not saying don't support national organizations. I'm just saying if you want efficacy of your dollar, local organizations are where to put it. So thank you, Sean. Thank you, Jeff and Chris. You are all articulate. Your mission is great, and I can't wait to see the rest of your stories. I really appreciate you taking some time to join us and voicing your what your organization is about here with us tonight. And I hope the sales of this beer are very successful, and you're surprised by the amount of support our community gives you. Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah.
That was really cool, man.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. Damn, that hit me harder than I expected. Jeff just had a way with words that hit me in my heart, and I really appreciate them joining us on the show. Thank you, Steve, for helping facilitate that, and also for supporting their organization. That's just really cool.
So, Brian, what kind of drugs did you have?
It's weed, always. Okay. So
Sorry,
if I was
want to know.
Honestly,
if I was between 19 and 21, I could have had every drug. But go ahead, Esthela.
No, real quick, Brian. So we had a meeting at Mujeres, and Jeff was there, and Steve was there, and Denise was there. Like Jeff Lozano was there also from Ballast Point, and Jeff kind of spoke, and we were just kind of all in awe, just listening, you know. And it was amazing what he had to share with us, and we were just like, yeah, like we want to help you. How do we help you? How do we get your message out there? So honestly, right now it's come by the beer. And this is how you can get this is how you can help. I know you guys all like beer, so just come and buy the beer. that's honestly how you guys can help right now. So
and beyond that, again, you know, you can go to hereishere.org and you can support the organization directly. But to answer Abel's question honestly, between 19 and 21, I could have had any drug on me, except for things that took needles. I was never a needle guy, but speed, acid, opium.
You don't need to share that much, dude. You don't need to share that much.
Ever since
we got him, guys. We got him. Let's
yeah.
Ever since I was 21,
move in.
Since I was 21, just marijuana. So, and now that's legal. So you can't bust me for that. That's just how it is.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was a little too honest. But to move on and bring it back to our normal show, we got to get into our number twos. This is our favorite decorated tasting room. And we're going to start with Mr. Hernandez because he's been silent for a little while.
Okay. These aren't necessarily my favorite, but I'm recognizing skill, okay? Because there's some things that are undeniable, even if I don't get it. And a great example is Modern Times Anything.
Yes.
I really like the creativity that they put into their tasting rooms from day one. And there's certain parts where I'm like, wow, that's rad. And there's other parts where it's like, those are just VHS tapes. Like, you give a shit. But at the end of the day, they're very creative concepts that are neat because they're different in every single venue. And there's a lot to be said for that. And it was kind of at a crossroads where these breweries are coming in around 2012, 2013, the societies and them. And it was kind of the bridge to get from, we have a brewery in a industrial park. And you walk in and it looks like every other brewery in an industrial park. And then these other people took it to a different level. I believe that Modern Times was actually inspired by Stone. You know, Jacob had worked there and, you know, really studied Stone. Tapped Greg's brain for, like, what can I do to stand out? And it was a great way to make something interesting that people could gravitate towards and appreciate. You're having a beer, you're looking up at the whole, like, Michael Jackson thing they had with the Post-its and stuff. And, like, or you're looking at Jacob's comic collection on a different wall. That was very interesting. They took it on to different levels and different places that have fun names. And yeah, I think they did a really good job with that. And it's something to be appreciated for sure. Definitely unique.
Absolutely. And that's what this whole conversation about is unique. And did you mention the VHS bar where they glued?
I did. That was like the very underwhelming part for me.
Right. So
I have a bunch of those. Big deal.
What is impressive about that effort to me is that took a sustained social media effort to get all of those tapes donated, and they're like there's like 3 tapes deep, so it's almost like a foot deep. That took an incredible amount of material, and this again,
it's called a garage sale, Brian.
Yes, right. All of them. Apparently, they went to them for like a month. Every garage sale they could find, and also, you know, again, reached out to the community and got as many donated as possible. But
don't forget the Post-it notes.
Right.
Yeah, well, the Post-its. Yeah.
With all the Post-it notes, and just like.
Yeah,
but was it a good choice to choose Michael Jackson? That's the I don't know about that part, but it is very original, and it's amazing to me that they've been able to maintain it, which is incredibly impressive. It's been a long time for Post-it notes, especially. All right, Esthela, what's number 2 for you?
I gotta go Border X. I feel I'm at home there. The graffiti outside, the murals, the chalk paintings inside, the different art shows that they have, and when they could have music, it was amazing. Latin jazz night. So yeah, obviously it's my second home. So Border X all day. Fight me. Fight me. Yeah.
I love your attitude. So you're like, fuck you. This is it.
Fight me when you never heard of her, by the way.
Right, exactly.
Never heard of her.
And this is why she's an influencer. So exactly, she will tell you what your opinion is. So, all right, Mr. Garcia, what about you for number 2?
Mine would go with Belgian up in Vista.
Oh, yeah,
just
the tree,
the tree in there, the bar that's made out of the tree.
It's the same tree.
I think they have like a little bench right there in the front. When you walk in, it's all made of trees. I mean, it's got that very like because Belgian means like growing. It has that very like feel of like the tree-like plants and kind of like the forest basically.
Yes, absolutely.
And the homebrew sculptor fountain. That's really cool.
Yeah, and so for those that don't know, most of that whole place is 2 trees. Yep. So their whole bar is 1 tree. Oh. This table, the bench, and the sculpture on the left, that's all the other tree. It's really cool how they use the material. They literally went up and got the trees from Cuyamaca and manufactured them all themselves into those items, and it just their respect for the forest, and it was trees that had been burned and had fallen down or in an area of burned lumber. So just shout out to them. That whole thing is unique and awesome, man. For me, number 2 is a brewery that gets really overlooked all the time. I actually wanted to mention them in my Nano Brewery top 3 last week, but I went in a Grim Reaper direction and talked about breweries that had passed away, let's say, but it's Division 23. They have like the ultimate guy's garage is their like theme of their brewery. It is an incredibly cool place to hang out. They in their day jobs are air conditioning contractors, and when we can go back inside legally, if you need to go somewhere that is arctically cold when it's 100 degrees outside, it's Division 23. TVs everywhere, couches, pool table. It's really like if you had a dream garage, you wish it also had a brewery in it. So
hey, Brian, did you ever go to the secret room behind the TVs?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because
it's a pretty cool room.
I just love that it's a showroom for air conditioning.
I was gonna say, I actually met them because of construction, and then brewing started, and then I was like, wait, what? You got a brewery back there? Also, in general, one of the hardest breweries to find in San Diego. If they don't have their signs out, you're in trouble. So
completely agree. I've gotten lost getting there before. So yes,
it's in a weird industrial park, and it's like the backside of the left corner after 2 rights. It's complicated. It's like trying to get to the back of Longship, another place. If you're trying to get to the back door, it's kind of hard to find. But there's some in San Diego. But shout out to Division 23. That's really cool. Mm-hmm. So that means it's time for beer number 3, ladies and gentlemen. And this is Snappy Cat Hazy. So, Brian, why don't you kind of break down this beer for us and what your method is for hazies?
So this beer is actually originally started out as a West Coast style. And being that we hadn't really brewed a lot of hazies before, at least I started working here, and coming from AleSmith, having not really done a lot of hazies either. As we started getting the ball rolling with brewing them, I really just kind of wanted to see, it was a really great style. I drink more hazies than anything, really. I definitely like the more smoother, balanced, more hop forward, more flavorful. So anyway, with that in mind, this beer has been tweaked a little bit to accommodate a hazy. So it's got about, I think, 30% or 20% oats, and we use a little bit of wheat. And basically, it's all base malt, 2-row, and Mosaic, and Equinox. So a lot of late edition hops. you're going to basically get just a little bit of bittering to give you the backbone of the beer, and then all the hot side additions go in at the end of the boil. So we use a little bit of the calcium chloride to kind of add to that like smoothness that you can get like a lot of hazies. I don't know. Some brewers do or do not. And then we use the typical East Coast yeast or to kind of, it's really about the yeast for us is, trying to brew a hazy with a Cal Ale or a West Coast style yeast. It's just not going to work. So we use the East Coast style yeast, and it's not super murky, but you're still gonna get that haziness and that juiciness, and it stays hazy.
Yeah, you've got shelf stable haze, and
right.
So us that our entire life changed to only drinking hazy IPAs. Mine in protest, but whatever. That's not the point. We would call this foggy. So right. Like you said, it's not in that murk area that like Pure Project brews, but this is you hit what's important, I think, about the style, which is you're mainly focused on the tropical nature of the hops, and you don't have an incredible bitter backbone and a slicker, thicker mouthfeel. And so I think this is a great daily crusher, man. Props.
Scones, what's up with the name? Where'd you get the name from?
So the name actually, when we were kids, we had our own little government system. I think we were in like junior high or whatever, and we collected 25 cents a week in tax money.
Ooh.
And then that money got converted to the Snappy Cat shackle. And Snappy Cat, we had little paper money. We had a little Snappy Cat, little guy giving the thumbs up, and that was Snappy Cat. So we're like, hey, dude, let's bring him back. I think it's time. So
that's amazing. Harken back to your childhood, and I've never heard anything like it. So congratulations again on uniqueness. Well done, sir. That's great, man.
The Snappy Cat shackle was good to buy candy. We'd go buy a bunch of candy with that 25 cents tax money and turn around and give us a Snappy Cat and get a stick of gum, dude.
That's freaking sweet, man.
That's the name.
Every kid is excited about a stick of gum, man. That's right.
Especially the ones that came in baseball card packs. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
If you ever wanted gum that tasted like printing, like the printing industry itself, baseball cards. That's where you go. Yes, exactly. Oh my god!
I thought the Fleers were a little more nuanced in the
top. Tops use the actual high quality bubble gum. No, just kidding.
Yeah, the top notes were so much better on the Tops gum. I mean, really.
I like the Garbage Pail Kid gum.
Yes, that was for me, it was the Big League shredded chew of bubble gum, where you could do the whole, like.
What flavor? What flavor?
Oh, it had to be the purple one, like the
purple. Great.
Purple, yes, the purple is the best flavor of every. As far when it comes to artificial flavors, it's either purple or blue. Those are the two.
What flavor do you like? Purple.
I mean, don't
purple flavor. I don't purple flavor, please.
Yeah, don't. It's drank, motherfucker. It's drank. But don't come at me with no artificial banana. So, let's do some housekeeping. Pulkit, thank you for joining us. If you guys don't know who Pulkit is, he writes a brewing software that a lot of brewers use in the background. He is an incredibly interesting guy. We actually were considering having him on an episode one time, but honestly, he's too scientific for our fan base and me. He's a stud. So thank you for joining us, sir. Mahendra, thank you. Welcome to the show. Let's catch up. Rudy, Larry speaking to each other, Amy, Brian, comments. That's really cool. Kevin Lewis, I agree, sir. Once Giggles shows up, it's all over.
It's all over.
All right.
Is Giggles still there?
I don't know if Giggle's still around, but hi, Nick. This is actually my employee. We're 2 for 2 weeks in a row with employees joining us. That's really cool. I really appreciate you guys coming. Sarah Trigg, we fucking love you, lady. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, what's up?
In the middle here, we had a couple things we had to nuke. Sometimes live, people jump in on the show and do some weird stuff. But
I'm
that's
kind of curious
okay.
about that mosquito question.
No, you weren't. So, hello, Christine. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you saying it's a great show, Nick. That's really cool, man. What? Let's see. Alex, this is a great question. So, Brian, have you only been drinking the beers that we've been having on the show, or did you slip an extra one in there?
I've been just drinking the ones that we've had on the show just because that's what I have access to.
That's cool. Yeah,
but I'd say if I had something else I could be drinking, I'd probably be drinking either a Belgian beer or some kind of hazy IPA or maybe like Beechwood.
That's really cool, man, and I agree. Beechwood all day. Yes, Mary suggests that Stave and Nail and Nickel and Lomeland Decor are all awesome. I really agree. Larry is supporting Abel's choice of version, which is really cool. Yes, Larry, you are welcome. I reminded you of Division. That's really cool. Mary points out 5 Suits, who we had on the show a couple weeks ago. They have a great Las Vegas theme, and once you can get in there, that'll be great. Yes, like I said, Larry, Ultimate Man Cave is really cool. But great question from Mary. Brian, you did mention them, but again, let's break down the hops in Snappy Cat and how they're utilized.
So it's pretty simple. We just use Equinaut and Mosaic, and most of the hops, like I was saying, are all in the Whirlpool edition. So you're kind of doing. I've started to find that I like a lot of our IPAs. You go back to the West Coast style. You know, some of the additions will be like 15, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 0 minutes. I just put them all in at the end because you're going to get more of that flavor. You're not going to boil into that hop. I know that's just like my train of thought. I'm probably there's probably people out there going, no, that doesn't make sense. But I find that I really like the additions that you get on the hot side. We don't use our we don't cool down the beer below like 180. I know some of the hazes people do that. We are kind of thinking about experimenting with that. But and then just your standard dry hop bill, 60 degrees, 5 days. Just with the two hops. It's about evenly split, so 50-50 on the blend.
That's great, man. And when you're dry hopping, are you dry hopping under any fermentation pressure, or are you waiting for fermentation to be completed and then dry hopping?
It's all post-fermentation.
All post-fermentation. Okay, that's great. There's some belief that there is a weird bio-transformation that can occur when you're dry hopping under the last little bit of fermentation, like last Plato. Unsupported by science, but kind of supported by science. But I think your technique is more consistent. Sorry to whoever is poking in on Esthela stream. We took her off so she could run away. But thank you for wearing a mask. That's really nice of you. Let's.
I was going to say one more thing with the hops is that I think we kind of go for more of a traditional approach, whereas you're trying to avoid the hop creep, which is putting there. I mean, especially the hazy. I mean, we're keeping most of our beers are all packaged; they stay cold. All the bottles are all cold that we store. But you start getting into that, and then your shelf life is going to get a little weird. So, with that in mind, with the traditional sense, it's kind of what the direction we decide to go with that.
That's really cool, and I really respect brewers that are considering shelf life stability. A lot of hazy beers have 4 days, 5 days that they're stable, and they start morphing. They either get clearer or they get murkier, depending on the techniques used. A lot of hazies can have what we call fallout, where really the haze is coming from a bunch of material that's in suspension, and then while you have that cooling in your fridge, it all just kind of falls to the bottom of the can, and you lose a little bit of that. So thank you for even considering shelf stability with a hazy IPA. It's really cool, man. And really kind of harkens back to my favorite hazy brewer in San Diego, which is Half Door. Daniel wasn't chasing a murky beer. He was chasing a hop efficiency. And so it's really cool that you're going at it a different way with a different approach, but kind of in the same approach of really utilizing your materials in the way to produce the beer that you're after, which is a haze stable shelf beer that can stay there for a while and still be the same appearance. I think it's more of an art that way when you present a beer that is stable to the public instead of one that is like, drink it now if you want it to taste this way, or please keep it refrigerated because otherwise it's a bomb. Like, please don't sell beer to the public that can re-ferment if it gets warm and explode. So thank you anyways for considering the public. Really appreciate it. We got to jump into what we drank, and I'm going to do it on purpose. I'm going to start with Esthela because she just came back. This is a segment where we talk about the beer that we drank right before the show. And she's grabbing her show and tell. Let's zoom in on that. What permanent vacay? Right on, nice. Esthela. How did you enjoy the beer? Turn your mic back on so we can hear you.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, sorry.
No worries.
There's stuff happening behind me now, guys. Like
yes.
This tiki room is coming alive. So
well, the good news is we're almost done, so you can get back to the party soon.
No, it's all good.
The tiki totems speaking to you like the enchanted tiki room?
They kind of are, no joke. I'm going to show you guys in a minute when I do my number one, but still. So I was drinking this beer before while I was setting up and everything, and it was a nice little refreshing break, like a permanent vacation, very apropos name. So I really enjoyed it, and I liked it a lot. So yeah,
that's awesome. And shout out to Pizza Port, just a hallmark brewery of San Diego County. We're going to go clockwise. That means it's Mr. Hernandez. No, we're going counterclockwise because I said it's Mr. Hernandez's turn. What were you drinking sometime this week before you joined us today?
That very same beer, and I really liked it.
What? That's awesome.
I bought a 6-pack of it. My wife was kind enough to buy a 6-pack of it down at the Barons down the street, and on my request, and it was great. I've gone through 4 of them so far. I really like it. I mean, you can't lose with Pizza Port and Beechwood. It's probably going to work out pretty well on an IPA front. No, we did not
even email each other, coordinate at all. That just
just
happened.
have great taste. I mean, what can you say?
Yeah, we just have great taste. Absolutely. Mr. BC, did you want to play? What beer did you drink before you joined us?
I didn't have one before I joined you guys. So.
Yes, that's cool. That's cool.
It could be yesterday.
But I can make it up. No,
what was the last beer that you drank before the show? Whether it was several days ago or whatever.
I had the Foggy Diversion from North Park.
Yes,
and it's delicious.
Absolutely. Kelsey is freaking killing it over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. That's really cool. Personal thoughts on the beer? Recommend purchasing it?
Nice and smooth, very I'd say that one is like on the more murk side, but on the more sweet side, which I actually do really enjoy.
Okay.
It's nice and smooth, even. It's got Simcoe, which you can really it's kind of, I don't know, the hop notes on there are really nice, and that Simcoe I haven't really played around with on hazies, and I really enjoy it. So.
That is awesome, man. Mr. Garcia's got the party going. Every couple minutes, another neon light shows up around his neck. I think we can all agree that's an amazing beer. Let's zoom in on him.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, Pliny for President is the double dry hop version of this small little beer that a few people have heard about called Pliny the Elder. Thoughts on the beer?
It's really good. I mean, it's really good. It's very hop forward. A lot of citrus to it. I think it has citrus. I don't even remember what hops are in it, but it was a buddy of mine got me a can. It was canned about a little less than a week ago. I think it was canned on like the 20th or the 21st. So where we're at right now, the 27th. So yeah, so about a week ago. And yeah, it's just so much explosion in my mouth. And not in a sexual way, Brandon. So it was in a very good way. So
nothing but love, dude. Nothing but love.
You didn't have to add that last part.
My work here is done.
I endorse this. I endorse this. There we go.
Yeah.
I too endorse this candidate for president.
Me too. So I had it at Machete where they had like you could get it on draft or you could buy the bottle. I actually did both to compare, and yeah, it's great. I loved it. So yeah.
I agree. If you're ever sitting there going, gee, how could they make Pliny better? More hops. That's how they made it better.
Pretty much.
Amazing. All right, Scones. How about you, sir? What was the beer that you had, last beer you drank before joining us on the show?
Yeah, I was over at Pure Project Spankers Hill Beer Garden the other day, and everything. I liked all their beers pretty much. Honestly, they're really good. I'm a hazy dude. They had a Dubbel IPA. I don't think it was hazy though, but it was really good. I liked it. Fun, awesome, and yeah, they make good beer. I go on hazy side, Belgian, same thing. Can't lose. So those are a couple that I've been playing around with. Alaskan has a Galaxy breaded IPA that's pretty rad. I had recently too. So
That's really cool and great choices and really good shout outs. And for me, breaking news, I like this small little brewery called Pariah, but they just released Don't Go In There. That's a spook house at their fall seasonal, let's say. Esthela called it Oktoberfest the other day, which was great of her. But it is actually
No, it's two different beers. They have an Oktoberfest, and then they have that beer. There was two of them because I tried both of them.
That's great. Okay, so go get the Oktoberfest beer too. Get the Oktoberfest beer in person. That one's not canned yet.
Who invited the trash can lid band?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, Esthela, for trying to meet your mic. But then we also have Scones picking up too. It's a lot of fun over there. But this beer in particular, Nelson Simcoe, which Brian earlier mentioned, you can go too far on Simcoe sometimes, but this one has a great balance of that. But then because Pariah is Pariah, and they don't just do 2 hops in their hazy beers, they also added for this one. And I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Malvasia, Bianca, and Chardonnay juice. So similar to like Erotic City, they're kind of making a little bit of a beer wine hybrid here, but you don't really get a sense of wine. So the grape quality is so perfectly married to the Nelson hop quality that you really don't even perceive that it has anything winey about it. It's very smooth, very drinkable, and you can't I mean, come on. This artwork on this can is fucking shit. It's awesome. Get you in the holiday spirit. Go to Pariah, and also vote for Pliny. I mean, we vote for Pliny. Pliny kind of wins this.
Don't waste your vote on a write-in. Jesus Christ! This time around, no write-ins.
Okay, so we're going to be political for a second. Any other vote is a vote for him, so don't do that. Let's catch up on some minor housekeeping. Yes, Andy Lloyd from Three Frogs Brew Co. This thing is on. Welcome to the show. Dario, hola.
You pronounce it Dario.
Thank you. And of course I would.
Hola Dario, ¿cómo estás?
That's awesome. North Park Party Cup, a great freaking lager made right here in San Diego. And if you are going to be doing beer pong, there's even matching glassware so that you could do beer pong like a craft beer person, and all your glasses could be glass. Diego Antonio. Thank you, Mike Sahagan. We had this beer a couple weeks ago. So good. Terrific West Coast IPA. And also this collaboration between Weathered Souls and AleSmith. Yeah. They have another beer that benefits their new charitable organization. So check that out and get that. And Abel, where did you get it so that Larry can follow you up? You don't know.
Like I said, a friend of mine gave it to me. He bought it. I think he ordered it from Russian River. He got it delivered to his house, and he brought me a can.
Yeah, you can order a case of it to have it delivered. But like I said, Machete had it. I don't know if they still have it, but that's the last place that I got it. So
Okay,
yeah.
so
Sorry, Larry.
I'm doing a live untapped. Oh my God, our friend freaking Tyson Blake has it at
O'Brien.
There you go, O'Brien.
Oh, West Coast. Oh,
So West
Hey,
Coast
is it his first
Tap
project?
House, Larry. Go
His
visit.
wife screwed him again on that one.
Right. Go visit the O'Briens of what is that? La Mesa.
La Mesa.
Yeah, it's in La Mesa. So, or in Lake Murray, some people call that area too. So, go visit the O'Briens of Lake Murray, and you can have Pliny for president right now. So, as we start our march out of here, Steve, what can we expect to see coming down the pipeline for Kilowatt? What is available for you to share with us currently?
Well, we got to talk to the county health department, man. I mean, for real, like every day is a different thing, right? So we don't know what the rules are going to, it's like schizophrenic to try to run a business right now or a brewery to try to figure out what the hell we're going to do next. But I will say this, if you take that out of the equation, you know, like I mentioned, we're going to speak easyify the back room in Oceanside. So that's something that's happening. We're going to, you know, again, we know that our Kearney Mesa spot, that's no secret, but they're going to be redeveloping the entire block at where our brewery's at in Kearney Mesa. Now that's gotten delayed, so we're looking at a minimum, a minimum of 2 years now, and who knows, that might not even happen, right? So, you know, you always got to look at the positives with what's happening currently, and that's one of them is that we get to stay in our present location longer. But at some point, we thought it was going to be in 2021, but it's probably going to be a little further out now, which is good. But we're going to be moving into a bigger space. So definitely going to be want to stay in Kearney Mesa if we can, but it's tough. It's getting expensive. But definitely going to be going to a different space, bigger. I can talk more about that when that comes around. But we've got our plans there. And definitely we want to keep we really want to keep being innovative with what we can do with our licensing and you know, in our product offerings. I mean, these cocktails we're doing, these undistilled cocktails. I mean, it's really been fun, and we really want to push that out further and make crazy stuff and mad scientists that. I mean, BC and I and some of our other folks, and we'll spend a day and just make cocktails with all the different bases. We've got kind of like a dark rum base we've made with molasses, and then we've got a lighter rum base, more like a vodka base too. And so we take those and mix up cocktails and see what we can do. And so that you're going to see that with us, the hard seltzer thing. I mean, we've been doing that for a little while, but we've been kind of on the sidelines a little bit, but we've been doing that for over a year now. So that's something you're going to see in cans. You know, we haven't done a lot of canning. We're small. You know, we're a 7-barrel. We got 7-barrel. We got 7 barrels and 15 fermenters, but we're small. We have enough capacity to kind of get our tasting rooms and not a lot else. We have a couple tap handles around town at times, but that's something you'll see a little bit more of. And obviously on the canning side, we got a pallet of 16-ounce cans out there we're getting ready to fill. So that's new for us. You know, we haven't done a lot of that. So those are some things we're doing. You know, and hopefully we can keep creating more trippy environments. And something we're never going to take our foot off the gas pedal with is adding new artwork and new things to look at and experience in our tasting rooms. You know, one of the things with OB, especially, we've got all this new artwork and all these new murals because now we've got all these things we built outside that for safety and social distancing, and it's actually it's turned into something that's gonna outlive COVID. It's a part of our tasting room now. So just continue to have fun and do what we do. So
that is all wonderful news, and we will talk about OB when we get to my thing. We just saw a little inception there. I'm guessing Esthela got close enough to BC that she told him to turn his mic off so that we didn't end up with an infinity echo. Sometimes that will happen when you're live. But we got to jump into the news real quick. So there are several things. Well, let's let BC be free. Mr. Hernandez, did you want to discuss the Yakima Chief virtual hop harvest, which is freaking amazing? And obviously we can find more information on San Diego beer.news, but why don't you kind of give the people a breakdown of what that is and what they can expect from that?
Well, going to hop harvest up in the Pacific Northwest is a huge deal for brewers. And some people who are not even in the brewing industry go up there because they're just so into beer and so into hops and such a vital ingredient in beer. Obviously, people can't go up there right now because they can't meet with their hop providers and the hop farmers. They'd be too close, and it just isn't really something that will work out for a lot of people. Plus, breweries are really strapped for cash right now, and that's a lot of travel expense. But the kind of silver lining in that whole thing is that Yakima Chief Hops, YCH, for those in the industry, has gone ahead and put the entire thing virtual. So you can kind of have the experience of being there. And if you've never been, it doesn't just include going and picking out lots of hops and varietals that you're interested in, but also there's kind of like education seminars and things that they go across a broad spectrum of hop related issues. And they're led by experts within the field, as well as farmers, as well as people within YCH. And that's all going to be available online in September. And there's just a robust schedule that they've got going. So you should go online to Yakima Chief Hops. They're, forgive me for forgetting the URL because I just don't know off the top of my head, but go to the article on San Diego Beer.news.
I was going to say, your URL.
And you can go ahead and click it there, but it's open to the public, completely free, and you can learn as much or as little as you want. They kind of went this year not getting to the nth degree about hops and kind of the science behind everything. They tried to have enough things that for the normal person, normies like me, who don't really understand science, biology, and things like that, you can still get a lot out of it, these entry-level courses as well. So it's just something for everybody. And I think that it will, if people tune in, they'll probably get a really great new appreciation for the beer that they're drinking and what goes into it. And something that's important is hop harvest and hop selection. So very cool new thing. And like I said, a great silver lining in a time like this when we could really use some silver linings. Just kind of like our show. It's so much better now that we're on this virtual platform and talking to people live. Whereas before, it was fun, but this is better.
Yeah, this is one of the few things that has been a positive for us during COVID is this, changing our show into a live broadcast and interacting with our fans has been incredible and very rewarding, and something that I couldn't predict from the whole thing. And we've said it a couple times. Having this extra intimacy and connection with our fans has just been amazing. And Mary Jane from the Peanut Gallery behind the was nice enough to point out it's yakimachief.com to go to for that.
Yeah, that's their website. Yeah,
that is their website.
Virtualharvest.com might be the actual.
They have a special one. They've got a nice.
All get you there.
Yeah, they've got a nice button over on the right hand side to the virtual hop harvest. And
thanks,
like Brandon said, there is an event every day of September. So get signed up so that you have the notifications. But we got to jump into the bonus beer because Kilowatt's not someone that just does the minimum. We normally feature 3 beers on the show, but often we have some breweries that are just like, yeah, 3, meh. We want to do more. So it's the chocolate macadamia nut stout. And here we will zoom in on Brandon, who decided to be our model tonight. Brian, why don't you kind of break down what's behind this beer and the award it won?
So this beer is basically going to be like an American stout, and it's kind of I want to say it's intentionally trying to be more of a pastry stout, although I think it's kind of a little bit in between the two. The main focus of this beer is going to be the chocolate, cocoa nibs, and the macadamia nuts. But we've also thrown in a little bit, and we don't really talk about it too much, but we put a little bit of a certain type of coffee and coconut. And that kind of tries to make it more of a sweet beer without really lending itself to be a coconut stout. So there's a lot of like different flavors kind of playing around in it. It is a little bit more on the smoother, sweeter side, and you are going to get some of that coffee that's going to jump out at you too.
I agree. For someone like me, it's clear there's coconut in the beer, but it's not a player in the flavor profile. It's just there in the background. So if you're someone that is sensitive to coconut, don't fear this beer at all. It's not prevalent.
Don't fear the beer.
Don't fear the beer, even though that's not what your shirt says. But very enjoyable. I've had it many times, mainly because it's been an award winner for a couple of years. Won bronze in 2018 GABF, and I'm the type of person that chases those type of beers in San Diego. You know, we kind of average 18-ish medals a year. Mm-hmm. And you've got 12 months to drink 18 medal-winning beers. It's not that hard. We've had 4, 5 on the show if you count this one, or maybe 6 on the show if you count this one. But whatever, that's not the point. The point of my rant is excellent beer. Kilowatt's award-winning beer has only improved in quality since BC has joined their company, and so you should give them a chance or another chance, or make a reservation for the future reopening of Forbidden Cove. Maybe get in line right there. That would be really good. But we couldn't possibly do this show without the support of an incredible fan base of amazing freaking people, the Indie Beer Show patrons. If somehow we provide you enough edutainment that you want to give us some of your hard-earned money, and we definitely understand that there are millions of people currently right now that can't give us a penny. Don't care about that. If you're doing well and you have, $6 or $12.50 a month that you think we deserve, go to patreon.com/indiebeershow, throw us a bone, and we'll be legally and morally obligated to give you a shout out in every single episode. And this week, those amazing people are Ben, Bill, Brian Good, Captain Eli. By the way, Captain Eli, member of QOF, also one of the people behind the charity beer for Urban Surfer Kids that is coming out this weekend.
At 5 Suits?
Yes, we talked about it on the 5 Suits episode, so you can go back and check that out. You can also go to SanDiegoBeer.news and get the details of that.
We got this covered.
Amazing organization as well that helps children that have developmental issues through the wonderful art of surfing. And that connection between water and surfing and a skill helps these children that need some way to direct their energy. So congrats and thank you to Captain Eli for supporting that effort for like the 4th or 5th year in a row. Casey, Dan Diegos, who was listening, by the way. Hi. And they got us hooked up with not only Indie Brew Co., by the way, who will be on the show kind of soon, but this other organization, god dang it, Brandon, help me out. The name, Beer Thug?
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Beer Thug Life.
Beer Thug Life, thank you. I knew I was missing part of it. So they will be on the show in 2 weeks. Next week we have Mason Ale Works on with Beer Zombies.
Beer Zombies.
And then the following week, so we've got a theme of collaboration groups coming for you. Nice. And then the following week, Indie Brew Co., which, how did it take us almost 2 years to get Indie Brew Co. on the Indie Beer Show? Whatever, it worked out. So they'll be on the show 2 weeks from now with Beer Thug Life. Dante, Doug, Garen, George from Home Brew Co., Greg from Stone, the Indie Beer Show brand, COVID-19 pandemic, socially distancing, Zorball LLC. Thanks, Greg and Maggie. By the way, yes, if you give me $6 a week, like Ron, I will read whatever's on the teleprompter. So there you go. Hoppy Crescent Podcast, James, Jason, Jess from Ale Tales, who's listening, Joey from Hoppy Beer Gear, Juan, Judith, who apparently is where Esthela is.
Yeah.
Kenneth, Larry, who's listening, and one of the most generous craft beer fans in San Diego, Liz from Hot Bauer, Matt and Kenneth Bobineau, who are just genuinely awesome fucking people. Matt from The Perfect Pour, Miguel Loza, we miss you.
We missed you.
He moved to Texas, but he's still supporting our show. We missed you, Miguel, and I hope Texas works out for you. Mr. Peacock from Tapcaf, we love you. Mike Sahagan, who's listening. Nathaniel, Norman, OC Brew Girl, who's listening and commenting several times. And apparently she says that we'll also have Beer Thug Wife on the show. So we'll have to check that out.
Nice.
Maybe it's just a speech impediment.
Right? Not, well, it could always happen. Pacific
Beer
Beer Chat.
Thug Wife.
Robert from 13 Point. Roger Smith, who's awesome. Rudy from Jolly Spaceship, who's listening. Ryan from Gravity Heights. Gravity Heights was mentioned by some of our listeners as one of the coolest tasting rooms in San Diego, and I agree. That place is rad. Sergio Nigos, who recently ordered a T-shirt and a mask. We appreciate that support. And the best pun name in all of pun names for patrons, Jagus. So we are at our number one for our top threes, and we're going to start with Esthela because she's already halfway.
I'm here.
To us, yes.
You need this. You need this.
Wait, what the hell is that?
So you need this, and hold on, and you right here, and then you get this secret door to open.
Ooh! Wait, you have to place your tiki cup there?
You have to place your tiki here.
Okay.
Where do I put my laptop? Or my phone?
Then
you carry it.
I'm walking.
Oh.
I'm walking.
And this is the infinity mirror.
There's a lot more walking than a Japanese restaurant right now.
So yeah.
Waka waka.
So there's
wow.
It's hard to see, but there's like 40 copies of Esthela in there right now.
Yeah. Okay, I'm walking, guys. I'm walking. This is my. Okay.
This is your tour. The tour.
Yeah. So now we're inside, and hey, guys, look who's here.
Hey, I know that guy.
Yes.
My favorite baked
So
good.
yeah. So we're walking this way. This is where he was at back here. Can you guys see everything back here?
Yeah. The black light is heavy with this.
Yeah. So this is the one-way mirror he was talking about. So you can see them in there, but they can't see you.
Ooh.
So yeah. And then there's a bathroom over here.
Ooh,
and then we're walking this way. There's booths over here. Mujeres, hey,
look at all that business.
Hey, look at them. Look at all of this. These are all wonderful friends of the show. Thank you for hanging out.
Yeah. So, hey, Scones, can we get a thunderstorm up in here?
Yeah, we can. Let's do that.
So this is the bar back here.
This is the first live thunderstorm on the Indie Beer Show.
And then if you want to order just a beer, it's happening. If you want to order just a beer, you come to this little window here, and you can just order a beer. Or you can order the beer cocktails at the bar.
Which is more important.
So, yeah. But I don't know if you could see up there. There's like...
Let me get the fire on. Let me turn the flames on here real quick.
Wait, there's fire you can control by your phone?
Here we go.
Dude. That is rad, man.
I feel like I'm watching the old movie of Joe and versus the volcano.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
That is freaking sweet. And so, besides the amazing decor, Esthela, why did it end up being your number one?
Because of the cocktails.
Yeah,
the drinks are so good, and honestly, it's just a really cool place. Obviously, right now we can't come here because of COVID, but honestly, it's an awesome place. You have to have that tiki to get in here. They have really good drinks in here. It's still a brewery, so your friends that like beer can come and drink here. And I'm trying to, I'm like, the thunderstorm is starting, so I'm just I'm trying to show everything, but it's a little difficult because it's a lot.
You've done pretty well, though. That was a really good tour.
Did I show you guys that there's like big tusks here too? Like,
wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just an awesome space if you've never been here. It's right inside of the brewery, and you don't even realize it's here. So it's just really cool. But yeah, so
that's rad.
We had a fun time cutting those barrels. We kind of made the hidden door where all of our barrel aging program is, and we took some old barrels and we cut the heads off, and then we took a rack and cut the front of that off and basically attached it to the door, so it kind of blends in. You don't know it's there, and then you put the tiki head on there, tiki idle, and open the door. It's fun, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. All right, we're going to keep our counterclockwise theme of the night going. That means it's Mr. Hernandez's turn for his number one. What's your favorite uniquely decorated tasting room, sir?
My number one will be no surprise, but what I really like about it is that the places that we've mentioned before, Stone, Modern Times, North Park, places like that, big budgets, big architects, people who know, like the ins and outs of all this stuff. And everything looks nice and fancy, interesting, but I really respect the DIY component that goes into the brewery I'm about to name. And it's not because they're here, but Kilowatt, man. There really is that. There is nothing more unique than your locations. And I just love that when you describe it. See, I get to talk to Steve about these things before they're pounded into reality. And I think he talks to me, and I'm like, wow, that sounds really interesting. It's hard to envision. It'll probably be pretty cool. But then I see the real thing, and it's better. Like, you just took that tour around Forbidden Cove. And he was telling me about that. We were sitting at Society during my workday. Not really important anymore. But he's like, man, you got to come down in like 2 weeks. It's going to be awesome. You got to see it on the first day. And I'm like, I can't wait because you really got me enthused about it. I'm thinking, how much of this could he have really pulled off? Because it's always their own hands, their friends' hands, people who really support them doing it. And you show up, and you're like, what the words I can't really say up in public. Yeah. It's just really incredible. And it goes to, there's certain expertise that Scones has. He has a background where lighting and things of that nature and these things that are, he just has it down. But another thing I really like, and it has nothing to do with kind of like that next level lighting and other elements like that and sound, is the games that they create. Go to Ocean Beach and you've got games they have wheeled it together with their own hands, and they're really fun and interesting and great. And like, you came up with this too, and there's always 15 more ideas he's telling you about that's going to be next. Oh yeah, we're going to make this better. You're like, this is great already.
It's freaking amazing already.
Like, this is 15 things more than anybody at a different brewery has come up with already. And you just know, like, for OB, could there be a better brewery for OB, honestly, to have a tasting room? You are OB. And then you take it up to Oceanside, and it fits in there too. Anyways, since the first day I met these guys, I have just been fascinated with their sense of just dreaming, creating, and with their own two hands. And I just can't say enough about how much I respect what they've done. And man, I'm so glad to hear there's more time for Forbidden Cove, because that place really is astounding. And there's no drinks like it that you're having anywhere in San Diego than at that place. So for now, because they're going to start a trend, and people are going to take it over. But for now, you know where it started.
Yep,
that's freaking cool, and well articulated as always, Mr. Hernandez.
Wow, yeah.
Well done, sir. And I agree. Like, the only place with more blacklight in OB is whatever the first apartment complex is to the left of Kilowatt. But
that was true. We overtook them about 3 months ago, though. But yeah,
yeah, exactly. But it was a race. It was right there, neck and neck.
Right.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's a famous store that's only like 4 blocks from your place called The Black, and literally half the store is blacklit, and it has none of the character that you have. And the store has history, and it's really cool, and the staff is great, but it doesn't have the artistic originalness that OB and Kearny Mesa have. I have not made it to Oceanside, so I can't speak to that location, but your locations are incredibly unique, and that is something that is special. So
real quick,
yes, please,
for the back room at Oceanside, can you make a drink called the $5 footlong? Since it used to be a Subway.
It used to be a Subway. For those that didn't get that joke,
that's pretty good. Yeah. And yes, he needs to.
What's funny is we told somebody, it used to be a Subway restaurant, and we were telling a customer about that. They said, oh, "What? There used to be an underground Subway in Oceanside back in the day." Like, sandwich, bro.
You're like, no, there wasn't even a Subway in the Subway. Like, come on, it's okay.
He was smoking some good weed that day, so
You know, he did
Sounds
say
like
bro.
it, yeah.
All right, Abel, let's shut down the number ones before I reiterate what I said a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm not gonna kiss Steve or Scone's ass or anything about it. I mean, Kilowatt's great. You know, these two have said enough. I can't say any more to that. But we're talking about the top 3 unique breweries to go to here. Mine would be Half Door. Just the fact that it's a fucking house. And you walk in, and it has that like a house feel. You have to go down upstairs. You got like chairs. I mean, And when I first found this place, they were only a week open. I was happened to going from Monkey Paw to walking to the ball game, and I was going to Stone to meet some friends at the ball game. And I just walked by it, and I saw this sign that said Half Door Brewery. I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then I walked in, and then I found out it was a brewery. They only had like 3 beers on tap. I sat there, I talked to the guy, drank their beers, and then the rest is history. They've been growing. They've been there for a long time, and it's probably one of my spots to hit up when I go to a ball game now.
Not only all of that stuff that you mentioned, their food is freaking amazing.
Yeah,
and on
top
of all of that, it's an actual historical house. Like they can't push the footprint of that any farther. It is what it is, and they have to work within the boundaries of the outside of that house because of the historical relevance of that property. Just very unique. Well done, Abel. I like that. So I mentioned it. No, you're not. And really, your job doesn't even start till we're done, as we all know. But so again, just shortly, my number 1 is Stone World Bistro Gardens. It is a showcase of the entire San Diego craft beer industry, and again, the most visited place in San Diego if you subtract theme parks. So you take out Legoland, SeaWorld, the zoo, and then it's right there, number 4. It's really incredible, actually, that it's that much of a draw. But that's the nature of Stone's beast. So thank you to them.
You hear that, Kilowatt? That's your turn. Step it up.
Right? all you need is a couple acres in Kearny Mesa.
You got it, bro.
And like $10 million,
You got this. I believe in you. I believe in you.
I believe in you.
So, Steve, we gotta let you guys go. But what are the best social media channels to keep up with everything Kilowatt Brewing?
We're at Kilowatt Beer across the board, and we're check us out there. Our website is kilowatt.beer. We're trying to do everything we can during this period. We're still trying to have fun. We are still having fun. We're not being able to do all the crazy events we had, like you mentioned earlier. You missed the 5-year anniversary. We missed the 1 year in O-side, but we're not going to do it until this is all over. But when we do, we're going to do it right. So keep looking out for that too. So,
hey, big love to Rachel, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Is she there too?
She's working so hard, man. Her day job's crazy, and so she really, really wanted to be here. But next time we'll get her. Yeah.
Absolutely, that's really cool. Shout out to Maggie and Amy Spackman and all the other ladies in the background from Esthela.
They're all here.
That's really cool. If you want to check out and support hearushere.org, that is HearUshere.org. Support this great organization. They're incredibly articulate, and I hope their effort explodes and they really bring a bigger audience to the people that need it. If you want to reach us, I don't know why you would want to, but if you want to reach us, we're at cheers@indie.beer. As Steve said, .beer is a legit website. Just barely kind of latching on within craft beer, but indie.beer is our website. We're Indie Beer Show on Twitter, The Indie Beer Show on Insta and Facebook. And if you want to break our excellent, if you want to break our incredibly long streak of no voicemails, that's 619-798-6038. I know our phone number by heart, but I got distracted.
Do you? What is it?
798-6038.
You distracted them. You distracted.
Yes, thank you, Maggie. I appreciate the poking. Beer good, food good, location good. What's not to like? I agree. By the way, we couldn't possibly leave without saying hello to Christina Brake.
Christina!
We love you, sir.
Hey, can she confirm about the Pliny for president?
Christina, while we're talking, Untapped says that you guys have Pliny for president. Is that true? Before we let you go. By the way, Brandon, did you call me on purpose?
Don't distract him. Stop distracting him.
So yes, Christina Blake confirms that Pliny for president.
Yes,
that's really cool. But if I answer, then you can't leave a voicemail. Anyways, for Brandon, Esthela, BC,
party up in here, guys.
Abel, Scones, myself, I'm Brian.
Okay, we're done now, guys. We can cheer now.
The entire peanut gallery at Kilowatt.
Macadamia nuts.
Freaking love you guys. You've been listening to the Indie Beer Show. Thank you and good night.
Man, you almost had a voicemail.
Wow.